Hey, good afternoon. And we're going to have a really quick reading of a short chapter of the Shea Memorandum. This is part 6, reports concerning the surveillance activities of Israeli DEA groups. And like I said, there's probably just a page, but let's read along anyway. As noted above, almost immediately after September 11th, credible reports emerged of Israeli warnings in August of 2001 of an imminent large-scale terrorist attack on the United States. One television network reported in a 4-part series in December of 2001, and by the way, they're talking about the Fox News Carl Cameron report. Investigators suspect that the Israeli DEA groups may have gathered intelligence about the attacks in advance and not shared it. A highly placed investigator said there are tie-ins, but when asked for details, he flatly refused to describe them, saying evidence linking these Israelis to 9/11 is classified. I cannot tell you about evidence that has been gathered. It's classified information. It's still classified. And by the way, if there was any information that they had pertaining to the Al-Qaeda operatives involved with hijacking the planes and the associates giving funding and logistical support to them, they are not going to share it because that would mean that the Israelis knew about the attacks and didn't stop them. And this would basically probably ruin the alliance between our countries forever. And it will remain classified forever because the Israelis who were involved in this covert operation are not coming back to the United States. They're not going to give what they collected in terms of pre-intelligence for 9/11 to the federal government. And even if the federal government has it, they're not going to release it to the public because they're protecting their interests like they do with Saudi Arabia. So for the victims' families, I feel very sorry for you because you have a unwilling government who is not going to be cooperative regarding your civil lawsuits currently against Saudi Arabia and New York, or even if you had information at your disposal about Israeli operatives regarding the DEA groups and the moving companies, the information that is not privy to you, you will not be given any type of classification or declassification to see these things. I don't know how many times I have to tell people about we have a broken system and we need to replace it. But the only way to do that is by working together. And Israel needs to have an accounting for what's going on here. You know, that this whole operation, by the way, is not public. I don't know how this document isn't. Israel might have had information that could have stopped the 9/11 attacks. Carl Cameron was going to have a 10-part series, I believe, and it was ended in 4 parts. Let's read on. The Forward, the highly respected American journal, at first discounted Fox's account, but in an article 3 months later reported that far from pointing to Israeli spying against U.S. government and military facilities, the incidents in question, the activities of the Israeli DEA groups, appear to represent a case of Israelis in the United States spying on a common enemy, radical Islamic networks suspecting of links to Middle East terrorism. Allegations involved Israelis claiming to be art students who had backgrounds in signals at deception and ordnance. Signals interception meaning that they're listening to phone calls inside the homes of the DEA, FBI, government officials at their business and at home, because these people went to their homes too. What were they listening to? And what did they hear? And not only that, did they do the same for Al-Qaeda? Because Al-Qaeda is also involved in this report. What did they collect regarding Muhammad Atta, Marwan al-Shehi, Ziad Jarrah, Hani Hanjour, and the rest of the Muslim, and then the Muslim hijackers, right? Khalid al-Bidar, Nawaf Azmi, Fayez Bani Hamad, Hamza al-Ghamdi, the rest. What did they have? I mean, this would be 9/11 right here. So you could see how vast of an operation this was. The biggest foreign intelligence ring in the United States in its history. And this is not reported on. You know, if this was Russia, we would be invading. If it was China, if it was Iran, we're throwing some shade by showering them with drone strikes. Not the case with Israel and Saudi Arabia here. They're allowed to spy in the United States. They're allowed to collect information about a potential large-scale terrorist attack. By the way, that report in August of 2001 was a vague report by the Israelis. Did they give specifics? Well, they may have had some in this intelligence operation. We won't know because it's not classified. It's not declassified. There may not be specifics. But I'm willing to bet they have specifics. Just like the NSA would. By listening to the phone calls of the operators of 9/11. It is very difficult to believe, based on existing evidence and the location of their common central operating bases, that these groups, who were clearly spying on the DA in the United States and were keeping under surveillance Islamic groups in the U.S. with links to Middle East terrorism, were not tracking the future hijackers and their collaborators as well. Boom. Okay? Yeah, that's right. They were, because they were living right next to them. So you tell me the one group besides the NSA that we know of that would have the most data regarding pre-9/11 intelligence, it would be the Israeli groups living next to agencies of the federal government, including the DEA, FBI, and other areas of government, Al-Qaeda affiliated groups, and the Al-Qaeda hijackers of 9/11. Holy mackerel. What do you think they had at their disposal? And this is something that needs to be brought up again. I mean, this is a forgotten document. This is a forgotten story. And for anybody who studies 9/11 and don't know about the Shea Memorandum, I don't blame you, because hardly anyone knows about it. It's not really talked about by anybody, even notable experts. But I'm not the right venue regarding this story because I'm small. I wish a bigger venue would cover it. And I know I'm pipe dreaming here, but I wish the mainstream news would cover it. Maybe we should bring it to their attention. Maybe someone from alt media would cover this story. It's a taboo subject. Nobody likes talking about Israel. I will, in the context that if we have information that shows them in a negative light without speculating, because that's what everyone seems to do with Israel. They just like to throw them under the bus for everything. I'm not one of those people. Hopefully I'm more careful. We have to be responsible and careful when it comes to information. And this needs to be shown in the respect that it deserves. And this is not a conspiracy-laden document. This document here is based upon the arrest reports in Dallas, in Houston, in New York, at New Jersey, in Florida, Oklahoma, all throughout the Southwest and Northeast. This operation was going on. And we have names to go along with it. This is another thing that we don't have in a counter-trail document. We have some, but we have names of the arrestees. Thank you, Gerald Shea, for doing this. Well, it was a short video, and the next chapter is going to be a little bit longer. And so, hey, listen, have a good rest of your day. I'll do that chapter over the weekend. And see you in the next video. Have a good afternoon.